All right, I hope your day is going great. It's your boy Antonio, aka Chris the Lord, back at it again. Go ahead and tell your friends. Another beautiful day, man. I'm just so happy to be here, to be awake. Everyone listening. Today kind of hit me hard. Today is the 25th, right? The 5 and the 2 is 7. And this just all unfolded right in front of me. This whole message was just beautiful. I think y'all gonna love it. Check this out. The number 7 is universal wisdom. It reminds us that everything in life is unfolding according to a higher guiding principle. No matter whether we can make sense of that at the time or not, even if you believe that life and all of its events are completely random, the 7 reminds us that there is beyond the randomness a guiding principle of life. Man, so some may say divine plan, some may say angels, whatever you believe in. Just to remember that even though in this life it's like, we always see good things happen to bad people and then bad things happen to good people, and we're like, why? And it's so hard. It's something we try to make sense of every day, even in our own struggles, right? We try to make sense of things. And even though we can't, the 7 reminds us that there is a plan beyond us, okay? And that just really stepped right into my message. Got that Selenite wand, keeping energy clear, making sure everybody can hear. I got a lot of stuff going on. Dishwasher. I think I left the TV on, my bad. I just jumped into this and it really got me going. I even pulled the 25 today too, because today's the 25th. You're looking out. Heck yeah. So I want to jump right into the message. I try to clear the energy most of the time to make sure that these readings are not just for me. Like I said, this is for the masses. This is a very general message. I feel like energy is fluid. Feelings are fluid, right? We can be experiencing anger today, but the reason why you're experiencing anger might be different than mine. But you still experience that emotion, right? So that's why I keep mine very general, very fluid. We're all going through our day. These things touch us all in a different way. But the first thing I pulled was 17, justice. Okay, so and it actually came out upside down when I first pulled it, to be quite honest. And what that kind of made me feel is like there's some situations going on in our lives right now where we feel like it's not just. You know what I mean? It could be, something like me right now going through court cases. Not being able to see my kids, like. I'm feeling like there's no justice in that, because I've been through their whole lives, you know what I'm saying? For you, it could be something different that you feel injustice. It could be at work, right? You're not feeling like you're getting the opportunities. It could be at home life, right? You're doing so much. If you're a single mom, right? You're doing all these things. You're not getting help. It feels like it's not just. There's so many ways, but it was upside down, so that makes me feel like there's some type of imbalance with justice in our lives at this point, guys. Okay? And then I went down to workaholic. And that really got me thinking, man, because I know that when I was first started this journey going through stuff, right, and I was so angry, the first thing I did was like, oh, I'm going to go work. I'm going to get so much money, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to touch me, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? I'm just work. But we got to remember, right, alcoholic, workaholic, like these things are just a way to soothe this injustice in our lives, right? And I'm not saying don't work, obviously, right? We got to get paid. But workaholic is like overdoing it, right? And normally when we're workaholics, it's because we're covering up something else inside of ourselves, right? There's something we don't want to deal with. Just like the alcoholic who goes and drinks. Just like the person who's doing drugs or smokes, right? It's not necessarily like, sometimes it's just fun. But if you're constantly doing it and it's like becomes a problem or something overdone, where we're not meeting, there's no balance, right? That's because it's something we're trying to cover up, something we don't want to deal with. And I don't care if you do drugs or you work 24/7. When you're tired and alone, that's coming back to you. You know what I mean? You can't outwork it. You can't outrun it. You can only deal with it and go through it and feel those emotions and validate yourself in those feelings, right? Okay. Then I went over to union and power. And this was upside down too when I first pulled it. And what it made me think of is when you're moving through your life, right, and you feel like there's some type of injustice. I don't know if this is just me, right, but have you ever like caught yourself in the middle of a conversation or dealing with somebody where maybe you're a little teed off or disturbed. You're going really fast in your mind, and then you come back and realize like, that person didn't mean that, or it's just some like residual effects from my past that are having me feel that this person was talking to me in a negative way or whatever the case may be. Okay? Because there's a union out there for us, right? There's some kind of union and power that we can't get to. And I think it has a lot to do with the feelings of this injustice still, right? We're feeling like someone did us unjustly, right? So it's hard to move on with somebody else. And I'm not just talking about relationships, right? I'm talking in business even, right? If someone did you dirty in business, it's really hard for you to go out there and trust what someone's saying when they say, hey, I'm gonna stick by your side, or hey, I'm gonna be able to get this work done, or whatever the case may be, right? We're jaded from that experience of that injustice. And until we've healed that, we can either, go hard and try to find different ways to negate that or run away from it or not face it. Then we're missing out on different unions out there, right? Because we haven't healed that. We haven't came to that. But then it came through to expansion. And that's exactly union, power, and expansion. I feel like those three words link together so well, right? In 23, we know Michael Jordan out there, he was kind of on his own a lot. But then once we really got it down packed, right, we realized that, this is from my hoopers out there, him and Phil Jackson, like they really had a relationship. And it's like, but out there, it kind of made it seem like he was all on his own, balling. But then when it came to it, it's like, oh, he actually had these other relationships and stuff that helped him along the way. But when we feel like there's an injustice, it's hard to get to that union, and then it's hard to get to that power, and it's hard to get to that expansion, right? Something else I noticed too is her being pregnant in here, right? Giving new life, right? Him breathing in new life, right? The wise old owl, like seeing what can't be seen. An owl is seeing at night, a lot of the time. So if you're like me and you're intuitive or clairvoyant, the ability to see without seeing is something so beautiful that I've been blessed with, that I love so much, right? And it also at times can be a negative thing, right? Seeing somebody without seeing them. I got to make sure that I'm not, still mad from an injustice or trying to cover up my feelings with things like working too much and not having a work-life balance or a balance in life, period, right? Because then I can't get to that expansion because I'm always judging based on what's already happened and not what is. But like I said, those two came in reverse, and it kind of made me remember or think about this, right? The victim mentality, man. And it's like one of those things that, like, it's crazy how we have justice on one side, justice on one side, and then we got victim on the other side. It's like, dang, how, you know what I'm saying? How amazing is that, right? Then we got workaholic, and we got renewal. Okay, it's just like amazing how this stuff comes out, right? And then these two click up, so it's kind of like a all the way through. But I love this because if you feel like there's an injustice, right, most of the time, that's gonna feel like you're gonna feel like the victim. But remember this: everybody is playing the victim in their head, right? Most of the time in any situation, right? Even in mine, for instance, like I was talking about kids, right? I'm sitting here saying, like, I feel like I was done unjustly, and I was, whatever, right? But I guarantee you, she's in her head saying, I was done unjustly, and it's just like, okay, then. But what really comes to light in all those things is facts, right? The facts are that, there's a squirrel here, and he wants that nut, right? Who's the victim? Okay, the dragon, he wants to eat this guy, and he wants him to eat the nut so he can get fat so he can eat him. Who's the victim, right? Those are all perceptions. And when we really let go of that, which brings me to my final card, my next card, my bad, we get that renewal, right? The renewal is in understanding, which was at the bottom of the deck, right? Renewal is in understanding. And the reason why is because there's so much going on, right? What we're lacking is understanding. We kind of get lost in our own narrative or whatever story we're telling ourselves, right? But the great part about understanding is you are the one who gets to tell the story. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, social media is out there. Yeah, somebody can say this and that about you. But inside your own mind, you're the only one telling yourself a story. and that's the, you know, you don't have to listen to no one else's story. You can make a whole new story for all, you know, who cares, right? But that's understanding. And it's also understanding that there's always two victims and there's always two forms of justice, right? Like both sides of the coin, and it always will happen that way. But, and then my last card, and I love just how this was all laid out, joy. Because through understanding, we can gain joy, right? Through renewal, and we can get out of this victim mentality, and we can get to union and power. Union and power is going to lead to expansion, okay? Expansion is going to lead to the justice, and here's why. A lot of times, you know what I found out in life too that I go through a lot of times is sometimes there will be something that needs to get done or some information that I need, and I notice that when I don't do anything about that and I just carry on in my life, somebody usually walks into my life with the exact information or exactly what I needed without me doing anything but carrying on, right? All the answers, all the knowledge, all that's necessary is within us already. It's just, are we allowing ourselves to sit in the silence, right? Because that's the hardest part about these kind of journeys, guys, is sitting in silence with yourself and having to face yourself. I can't tell you how hard it is, and something I still struggle with from time to time. You know what I mean? Sitting with myself, and I mean silence is in like, you know, no one there talking to you. You know, no, maybe you're looking at TV or something, right? But you're alone, and there's no escaping those thoughts. But we use stuff like work, we use stuff like family, we use stuff like being a victim, all kinds of stuff to kind of ignore that and not be alone. But I don't want to get down too much of a rabbit hole. This thing just worked out so well. But remember, justice is coming for us all. I know we feel like there's an unjust thing in our lives. You're going to get there. The facts are the facts. And that's what I always tell people. Like, you can only hide, you can only run so long. The facts are the facts. And when you have facts, everything is good. You can rest assured that the world hates you and everyone around you is putting you down. But what you're leaning on is facts and truth. Then you will be vindicated someday. And at the end of the day, it's not even about the vindication. It's in the happiness and understanding that I was moving in truth, and that's all it can be, okay? Remember, there's a union out there for us, waiting for us, guys. And like I said, that could be at work, it could be at school. There's a union out there for you, and there's going to be power within that, okay? Don't get caught up in being a workaholic. Expansion is great. And oh, my bad. One little segue thing too. I kept thinking about, my bad. It's probably way too long of a video. But for some reason, I turned on Netflix, man, and I was watching the new what is that movie called? The new Kung Fu Panda, right? And Master Oogway, the turtle, right? I've been like kind of in my own shell, in my own place, kind of down. Not really down, but like just like not lacking motivation, like energy, right? To just go get it, right? Even me shooting this video today, I was like, man, I don't want to do it. You know, I'm gonna wait, blah, 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 try to run my time out. But I was like, you know what? Let me just get it done. But in there, they were like studying the same lesson. Master Oogway had passed away. He had given him a staff, right? And he was saying something like, the turtle, even though he's not moving, is always doing something, right? In the sense of like you and me, right? I know that I'm very spiritually active and stuff. So like sometimes in my rest is when I'm getting things done, like spiritually, right? Maybe that's why I'm lacking the energy in the physical realm right now, because spiritually I'm going through this battle within myself, right? And I can't hold myself to the same expectations as when I'm, you know, good inside. And I was maybe, you know, working a bunch, blah, blah, blah. I can't hold myself to that. But remembering that even in stillness, there is movement. Even in silence, there is noise. Hey, and that's another one. A great message from your boy, Antonio, a.k.a. Chris the Lord. Go be great. Go be kind.